My name is Hope. Welcome to my home here in the Deep South. I'm so glad you stopped by, and I hope you'll spend a few minutes with me today as I take a vintage tablecloth and turn it into the sweetest cafe curtain for our kitchen. So back a few years ago, we did a total gut job in this kitchen. We took everything down to the studs, down to the subfloor, took a wall out, walled up a door. It was amazing. It is my most favorite thing to do is a really extensive good gut job remodel in a home. I would do it as a job if I could. Now, before the remodel, everything in this kitchen was brown. Floor to ceiling, 1976 brown. This is a traditional brick ranch house, and so the kitchen was the traditional ranch galley kitchen. Now, a few of the things that I needed that were on my must-have list were a natural stone countertop. I needed a deep stainless steel sink, and I really wanted this tapered range hood over the stove. Now, I know that an all-white kitchen is not for everyone, but something that you need to understand is that after years and years of looking at a total brown kitchen and not the contemporary, beautiful browns that we see today in kitchen design, this is literally 1976. Brown cabinets, brown countertops, very little storage. It was a mess. Now, another downfall of this 1976 original kitchen layout is that I did not get a window over our kitchen sink. Now, if you have a kitchen where you have a window over your sink, then count yourself blessed. I envy that so much, and I dream of standing at the kitchen sink and looking out of beautiful windows into the backyard or over rolling hills, whatever your fantasy would be. But I did not get that. Instead, I have a wall that I get to stare at. But we did get two side-by-side windows in this kitchen that created together one large window. So I'm thankful for that. So today I'm embarking on a little touch of charm by creating a cafe curtain to hang in our only window. So after scrolling on Pinterest to get some inspiration, I ended up with the idea of, first of all, spending little to no money at all if possible. I wanted to use something a little bit different than what I was seeing. And because my husband and I love to visit estate sales and thrift stores, you often see vintage tablecloths that are exquisite. So I had the idea of using a vintage tablecloth. And because of the size of our window, I knew that that would be enough fabric and I could get it very inexpensively. So I headed off to a local thrift store, and sure enough, I found what I would consider lace. I'm not sure of the design. I don't know what else it would be called, but other than lace. If you know, you can let me know. But I found this lace tablecloth for $4, I believe. And it's plenty of fabric for this window. In fact, I'm thinking I may have leftover fabric that I could do something with later maybe. The other thing I needed was a cafe rod. That I did not have on hand, and so I needed to do that and found one at Lowe's. I probably could have found one of those also at a thrift store, but sometimes when you find rods like that, you don't find the hardware to go with it. And I just didn't want the trouble of trying to come up with that. So I went ahead and bought the most inexpensive rod I could find at Lowe's, which happens to be black. Now, I don't want black. I want a warmer touch, a more of a historic, but something that feels older and not modern. And sometimes black can translate into modern instead of traditional. If you saw the video a couple of videos ago where I painted a black lantern pendant in our foyer, I painted it gold with gold leaf. So that's what I'm talking about. I picked up a can of bronze spray paint, and I'm going to spray paint this rod bronze to give it more of a warmth and charm about it, and not just stark black. This will also coordinate with these French Cremone bolts that I have on these cabinets that actually flank the window I'm going to be working on. These bolts came in black also because I could not find them in bronze. So even though they were quite expensive, but worth it, when I got them in, I painted them bronze and just love it, love it, love it. So that's what I'm going to be doing to this little cafe rod today as well. The first thing I'm going to do is fold the tablecloth in half long ways. I only want a single layer of fabric so that the light can pass through easily, keeping the curtain light and airy in the window. I'm not being too precise here, just cutting along the fold is good enough for me. Now that I have my panel cut in half, it's time to get ready to sew the hem and the pocket. This lace tablecloth is really just exquisite. Do you not just love that? Look at that detail. I love this so much. This would be beautiful curtains, like full-length curtains as well. If you remember the burlap curtain I made for my greenhouse, it was also a cafe curtain. I'm following the exact same measurements and process, creating about a 3.5-inch fold from the top for the hem. I'm using my straight pins to secure the fold to get it ready to stitch on my sewing machine. I'm just going to sew a simple straight stitch here, about 1/4 inch from the top of the fold, and then I'll drop down about another 1.5 inches and sew another straight stitch that will create a pocket for the rod to slip through. Now this one panel of fabric is plenty big for this window. And now that I have my hem and my pocket stitched, I'm going to fold this panel in half and cut it. And then I'm going to take those halves and fold them in half and cut again. And this is going to give me 4 total curtain panels.
Installation is easy. It's just brackets on either side of your window and one hook in the center of the window to help support the rod. Especially since this rod will be expanded, it needs the extra support in the middle, otherwise it may start sagging and I don't want that. I used my brackets to mark my holes for the screws on either side of the window, and pre-drilling the holes is just an extra step, but it makes things so much easier. We're finally ready to hang the curtain. I'm slipping the 4 panels onto the rod first, and then I'll snap the rod in place. It turned out so cute. It really added texture to our kitchen that I really didn't realize was missing, and it definitely added some much needed character. Thank you again for hanging out with me today for a few minutes. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did. If you've done something like this in your home, I would love to know about it. Or if you have any comments or questions, that would be great as well. Please reach out. Other than that, I hope you have a very blessed day, and I'll see you again next time.